Hey everyone, Darryl Dioso with HR for You. Many of you know me and work with our firm, and I'm here today with Roger Thorpe. So
Hello.
Roger, I want to go through some questions with you in regards to benefits. And first off, what would you say are the top three opportunities or missing factors in terms of creating and supporting a successful employee benefits program?
That's a good place to start. So let me try to give you a few good ones here. I'd say number one is communication. That's missing very often. So you could have a very reasonable average benefit plan, but if you communicate it really, really well, you're going to have people who better understand what they have, they appreciate it more, and they actually become more accountable as a consumer of those benefits. So that's number one, is upgrade the communication, both coming inbound and outbound. Flexibility is the term of the last year or two. Employees not only want more flexibility with their working relationship, but they want it in their benefits. So we've seen a lot of our plans morph towards more of a hybrid approach. So you're giving people coverage and protection, but you're giving them a lot more choice on how to allocate their dollars. They really appreciate that flexibility and the ability to get what they need out of the benefit plan. And then finally, last thing is, I don't think a lot of people necessarily are forecasting right now for the future. So given that we are likely headed into a recession, all the finance people you work with are probably doing this. So what you need to do is project where your costs are going to be and map out maybe the good, bad, and ugly scenarios of that. So you know now what you're going to do if you have to cut costs, hold your budgets, but even more so, to evaluate what you're getting out of the plan. And we'll maybe talk about that later. But yeah, those are my quick three sort of suggestions for now.
Excellent. Now I'm seeing a lot of mental health issues with my client interactions. So what would you say would be a reasonable response or strategy, even as this issue appears to be more urgent than ever?
It is. It's really urgent. I think there's more burnout than ever. And now we are, as I said, heading into a recession. So the financial stress is going to be on top of all that. So strategy is absolutely where to start. We just did a presentation to our clients last week. It has a very extensive sort of resource library of things to do. But as far as like where to begin, I would say assessment is number one. Asking your employees how they're doing. You can do this with a variety of different tools. We have things we can use that are free. But finding out how people are doing and what they need is a great way to go. Then you can turn around and respond with a solution. It could be open discussion around mental health. It could be education from people out in the marketplace for free. Then we have tools. So be careful with tools because there's a lot of apps and platforms and things that on their own don't really make a difference, but as part of an overall strategy, they can work really well. So we have things we can leverage out of our carriers, our EAPs. We can enhance our benefits with higher therapy limits. So tools and resources that we have or that we can add. Mental health first aid is massive. I don't know if you've heard of that, but educating your manager level and then below that on the awareness and understanding of mental health. And that'll address the stigma issue, which is still a major problem. And then finally, over long term, just have some sort of programming of learning so that people can take what they're learning and apply it not only during the workday, but also at home. And that's where you'll see ultimately resilience and some behavior change. So that would be my sort of 5-step approach maybe to that strategy. We have tons of resources on this if people want more info on it though.
Oh, excellent. I love that. Now, where do benefits and wellness plans fit in with an overall total rewards today? Like, how would you suggest we create an even more integrated approach so that there's some sort of alignment across compensation, benefits, and other employee rewards and perks?
That's a great question, and I'm sure you deal with this a lot, is that you can't have comp in one area isolated. You can't have vacation and other things all independently because people need to understand the full package, right? It's like if you have an incredible vacation policy and a flex plan, working policy, it may not be that you have to do as much with related to comp, right? So here's what I would suggest is start with common philosophy. So do you have those core values that you follow in terms of how you work, how you treat your employees, how you work with your clients, those should be considered in sort of this whole package approach. And again, you got to sell it as a full package. So never is there a conversation when you just talk about, oh, your comp is above average. It's really, what is the whole thing offer? And that can be done in a 1 or a 2-pager document. Huge thing is listening to employees. So if you're consistently hearing what their needs are and responding with some conversation, or even better is to say, hey, we've heard what you said and we've added something new, that is massive. And in many cases, we're really dealing with the human factor of all this. So sometimes it's not the benefit and the perk, it's really the attention to the human. Interacting more often with people, touching them more often, having check-ins, how are you doing? That to me is really a major sort of factor right now, is we got to stay closer to our employees. So that's kind of how I would look at it as far as integrating benefits and wellness in the whole thing. But you must deal with this a lot, Darryl. Is that something that's sort of common sense for you?
No, you know what comes up very often. And the one that really resonated with me when I was listening to you was listening to employees and responding where possible. That's huge, because it's always, we hear from our clients, like, go back and talk to them, see what's working with their benefits, what do they value, right? And then even take a review with your provider, like yourself, like Thorpe, and kind of see, okay, what are our employees taking advantage of? What do they like, and so forth.
Yep.
That's really been great. And then with new hires we're getting from clients, get a pulse. What are people valuing? What are they looking at? That's why I loved how you touched upon the mental health earlier, because that's a topic that's growing even more so. So we have to be really cognizant of that. And that's also coming through loud and clear with many of our, clients when they're onboarding someone, as well as when they're reviewing existing employees. And so, that one really jumped out at me.
And that's what people are going to be looking for, right? When they come to work for a company, they're going to say, what are you going to do to make sure that I'm safe, that you're supporting my mental health, my lifestyle, my balance? So you need to demonstrate that you're doing something. So I agree. I think in the total reward package of mental health benefits and education and support are higher up on the list right now. It's going to make a major difference. So I hope this was helpful for you, Darryl. I mean, there's obviously lots more that people can learn, and we spend a ton of time teaching. Take what you can out of this. I hope there's something you can apply to what you're doing with your clients or the listeners, what people are watching this. So best of luck with it all.
Well, that was tremendous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Darryl. Good to see you.